Alright guys, got a Mercedes ML350 diesel in the shop. We're going to be changing out the vacuum pump. So for the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this box out of the way here. We want to take E10 inverted Torx. We're going to take that off. I already took the one out. And then there's also going to be one at the bottom right here. You can see, you take that one out there, and then this assembly should come off here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, so after you get your bolt out from the bottom there, you're just going to give this a nice little wiggle and twist. You'll be able to pop it out, and then you'll see there'll be an O-ring right here. So we got to make sure that seals after it goes back in. Okay, and so to remove that clip, you're just going to press on the little tabs on the inside there, like he's doing, and it'll slide right off. Like so. Perfect. Okay, and so for taking this off, you're going to have 4 bolts. You're going to have one right here, one right here, you're going to have one on the back side here, and then there's going to be one hiding underneath here. So also be careful. I would probably put something in that hole there just in case you drop something. This right here is holding this wire harness on, so you take that bolt off with the bracket. Make sure you goes back on the exact same way. Okay, so I pulled my 3 bolts out from the top here, the 1, 2, and third one there. This right here, you're just gonna take a screwdriver, pry underneath, and you'll be able to pop it out, like so. Like that. And just pry it gently, don't be rammy, especially on a Mercedes. And there we go, that's all popped out. And then so what we have is we're gonna have another bolt, and I believe it'll be underneath here, but let's see. Hold on. Okay, so the next bolt that you gotta get, it's kind of a pain in the butt, it's behind this bracket here. You wanna just show them right there. That's the bolt that you're gonna be getting. Sorry. That's the bolt you gotta get right there. It's hiding behind this harness. So that'll be your 4th bolt. Okay, so this bracket, it's not a bolt for the actual pump itself. This is another bolt you gotta take off to swing this bracket out of the way. So we'll just take the bolt off, and just keep in mind how tight it is too. You don't want to be over tightening. These are like really maybe tightened to like 10 foot-pounds if that. The bolts are they're not super tight, and you don't want to crack aluminum or strip it. So we'll just get this bracket right out of the way here. Okay, so after you got your bracket out of the way, this is a shorter bolt, keep in mind, so I would just put it back where it goes so that way you don't mess anything up. So we're just going to lightly take the vacuum pump and kind of give her a rock side to side, and then we're just going to slightly wiggle it and just gently pull it out. And pay attention to where the lobe is. So on this one here, our lobe is facing at the, I would say, 5 o'clock position. So we're going to make sure when we install the new one that the new one's at the exact same position this one is. So make sure that you don't move that. Okay, when you go to put it back on, we're just going to line up the lobe right here with the cam. You can't really see all the cams right there. We're just going to line that lobe up. Can't really mess it up, I don't think. Looks pretty easy. So we're just going to get in there and try and line the cam up. And this is in the way a little bit, of course. Alright, let's try her again. I'm going at a little bit of an angle. And I think we got her locked there. Yeah, that's in. That's in sync, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so then make sure that your bolts are going through your gasket as well, so get one started. Start it by hand. And remember, these bolts, they're not super tight. They're probably like tight and almost like quarter turn, pretty closely. And And that way we know, if we pull it back a little bit too, you'll be able to see the gasket and the bolt going through. And that way you know. Usually once you have a couple bolts in, then you're good to go. Shouldn't have to worry. Yeah, I'll get that one as far as I can in. And we got one down here. Put this one in. Oh, that's right. Okay, and then we got our bracket that's got to go on. Sorry, it's been a long day. Alright. Get this guy in here. Remember, this is a smaller one that goes over there. So let's get that started. And then we'll just put this one in. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in by hand. Now, that bottom bolt, right on the situation, that's going to be your fourth bolt right there at the bottom, which is also going to be part of your bracket. So you actually have 3 bolts that are holding the bracket on. 1, 2, 3, and then you'll have 4 bolts for your pump itself. So I'm just going to put this other bolt in right here. This one's kind of tricky. Make sure you get it going in straight. Line up your bracket. I wouldn't tighten your bracket all the way yet, so that you can at least move your bracket a little bit. If you got to move your, get it in. Okay, so then you're going to take your breather hose, vacuum hose, pop it right back on, like so. Make sure to tighten down this bolt right here for your bracket. So what I did to tighten this is I tighten the bottom one, this one, then that one, and basically I did it by feel. How tight when they came off is how tight I put them back on, and you can actually feel the bolt kind of bottom out. So once you feel bottom out, don't go anymore, because what I did was I just kind of went around and did kind of little quarter turns and bumped it with my hand, and we should be good. Okay, and then once you got that bolt tightened for the bracket, make sure all your bracket bolts are tight, make sure your vacuum hose is on, and then we're just going to take our clips, clip this back on, make sure we're lined up, both of them clipped, give them a little rock, good to go. And now we can go ahead and put on the other piece. And again, we're just going to kind of pay attention to this O-ring right here and make sure that it doesn't fall off or anything, so that it's going to seal. Okay, and then we're just going to take this, pop this back in here nicely, kind of give it a little push and wiggle. So I would check to see if it's in there. Yeah, it's in there. There you go. Okay, and then now we just go along with the E10s, just like we did before. And then we got another bolt that's going to be underneath right here. And again, you don't want to go too tight because it's plastic. So you just kind of, once the bolt stops, give it a nice quarter turn. Quarter turn. Now once it, see how it stopped, do a little quarter turn, and that's all we need to do.
Ready? I think it's perfect. Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So we're just double checking the torque on the bolts. We want to make sure they're not too tight. Yeah, see, did you back it off?
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought you got that much of a turn on it. I was like, uh-oh.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's a nice little quarter turn. Perfect. Yeah. And then all you got to do is put your cover back on, and you'll be good to go. That's how you do the vacuum pump. It's a vacuum pump, right? Vacuum pump on a Mercedes ML50, 350, ML350. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you learned something from this, and then yeah, you just put your cover on, and away you go. You just saved yourself probably like $300 or $400 rather than bringing it to Mercedes. All right, guys, take care. Keep ranching.